From the movie goes, bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out. Aaron Nagler joins us now from Cheesehead TV. He is brought to you by Miller Lite, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. And by Rogers Behavioral Health. You know what, Nags? If I can just avoid all carbohydrates until we get through the holidays, I'm good.
Yeah, if I could stop eating, I'd be way skinnier.
Willpower and focus.
We just got to score and not let them score. What?
Oh, boy.
God bless Jair Alexander. God bless that man.
God bless him. All right. So tell me what the number one sort of buzz phrase, buzz angle, reaction angle was on Cheesehead TV last night.
Oh, this team is a mess, and it starts with Matt LaFleur. I don't think there's any two ways about it. You can't duck it. I don't think for a second that, they don't understand what the problems are, because I'm sure they do. They are multiple, and it's funny watching all the reaction to the defense and fire Joe Barry and all that stuff when Joe Barry's side of the ball was the good side, and they actually played winning football. Like, there were certainly moments you can point to that were frustrating, kind of the same issues you've come to know and love when it comes to a Joe Barry-led defense, but that's a game that you should win if you have a competent offense. The problem, of course, is they don't have anything resembling a competent offense. And, the bye week couldn't come at a better spot, because not only do they have to get healthy, but they have to reimagine what they want to do on offense. I don't doubt for a moment that the loss of David Bakhtiari and not having Aaron Jones yet again playing a large part here. That the whole structure on the offensive side of the ball is so much youth. At least theoretically, Brian Gutekunst had the idea of, well, okay, we're going to go very young, but we're going to have these vets who can kind of hold these guys' hands, so to speak, as we go through this season, especially when it comes to our very young quarterback. That's all come crashing down. And the problem right now in Green Bay is Matt LaFleur doesn't have an answer. I get that it's frustrating not having those guys available, but you've got to respond to that in a much more strident way than whatever we've seen through the last 3 weeks.
All right, you want to go through some excusable things from last night and some inexcusable things?
Why not?
One bin or the other?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's start with the big one, and that is Preston Smith being lined up on a couple of plays against Davante Adams.
Man. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty inexcusable simply because it happened literally in the first game last season where Preston Smith ended up lined up in the slot against Justin Jefferson. So okay, hey, guess what? This is something that could potentially rear its ugly head. Teams may try to emulate this. Hey, maybe we should have some kind of check or some kind of adjustment that we can make on the fly, train my guys so that, hey, if we find ourselves in this situation again, here's the word, here's the call, whatever, to get you out of that. Maybe it's as simple as switching your outside corner inside. I don't know. That's your job to figure it out as the defensive coordinator. That clearly hasn't happened because it happened again last night with a whole season and off season to work out that eventuality. Inexcusable.
Okay. Yes, inexcusable. I was reading Justice Mosqueda. Am I saying that last name?
Mosqueda. Justice is awesome.
He writes for Acme Packing Company. What relationship does he have to you? Have you just had him on?
I've known Justice forever. He used to write for Cheesehead TV a long time ago, but yeah, I know Justice. He's one of my favorite people in the biz.
Okay. Did he play football?
He coaches. He coaches high school ball. He worked for the XFL, the last iteration, for a while. He's a good guy. Really knows the game.
Good, because the reason I'm asking this is he had the best explanation on his Twitter feed of here's that coverage, here's why it happened. It's called like a 3 under, 3 over. Or
3 up, 3 down. And here's the thing.
3 up, yeah.
You've 3 up, 3 under. And I understand that, yes, the call in and of itself is curious given the situation they were in, the place they were at on the field, etc. Look, calls are going to get made. Maybe you think, oh, that's a bad call, whatever. But you've got to have a mechanism on the field. You have to empower your players to recognize that. Again, this has happened before. It's not like it's a new thing. So if you know there's a possibility, hey, Davante Adams could be lined up in the slot, we've got to be able to get out of this at a moment's notice if we see this happening as they break the huddles. You've had all year to work on this, and nothing.
Okay.
Just let the play go for a
one
21-yard
more
gain.
excusable. I got one more excusable and inexcusable. Butch, you're going to have to line one up after this. Not being able to account for Max Crosby. Excusable because he's that good, or inexcusable?
You know what? I'm gonna give an excusable on this one only because you saw them trying. You saw them throwing all sorts of bodies at him on the horrible, and I underline italicized horrible first interception from Jordan Love. Go back and rewatch that play if you have the stomach for it, because after the play fake, it's a play action fake. Not only on the initial action is Crosby double teamed, which he is, but then AJ basically bails out of the fake early and sprints across the formation to the right to make sure that there are 3 guys on Crosby. And there were all sorts of kind of elements like this where the incomplete throwback screen to A.J. Dillon, which was a great idea, where, okay, Crosby's killing us. Let's use his aggressiveness against him. Let's invite him upfield, and then we're going to turn around. We're going to throw back to A.J. Dillon. The problem was, of course, the throw. It was too short, and it hit the ground. And if Jordan makes even a slightly better throw and A.J. can haul that in, that's a big gain, and you've used Crosby's aggressiveness against him. I saw a lot of good ideas, lots of stuff that works on the whiteboard. I saw a ton of bad execution, though, when it came to trying to make that stuff work.
Excusable, inexcusable. 3 catches by your wide receivers, except for Christian Watson, Wicks, Reed, and Romeo. 3 catches.
Yeah. I mean, A, it would have been more if they, caught the ball. But B, I was kind of flabbergasted at the approach, especially early in the game when we're drawing up screens for Patrick Taylor. I mean, God bless Taylor. God bless the guys at tight end and the running backs. But, man, you've got a lot of young, talented wide receivers, and you're not drawing up plays specifically for them to get open. Like a lot of spread stuff, a lot of isolated routes where you're asking guys to win one-on-one with too high shell over them, like good luck. But yeah, that whole thing was curious. I didn't understand why you're not thinking players, not plays. Like we saw lots of good ideas, again, stuff that probably works on your whiteboard. But man, you got to be drawing up plays for Romeo Doubs. You got to be drawing up stuff for Christian Watson early in this game. What their approach was, trying to get the tight ends involved and the running backs out in space. I'm kind of flabbergasted.
Nags, I'm sure you've already been getting this question from fans of Cheesehead TV, but it came up on the show today, and Czabe asked, who has the longer leash, LaFleur or Love?
Ooh, that's a good question. Man, only Brian Gutekunst can answer that second part, because obviously that's his draft pick, and he's the one who ushered out Aaron Rodgers. So I would suspect he's got a long leash, but of course, Brian doesn't make the call on LaFleur. That would be Mark Murphy. And Murphy did just sign the man to a 5-year contract extension a year and a half ago. So I would suspect Jordan Love, because players always get longer than coaches, almost always. But I think it's neck and neck. I'll say it's close because, look, I'm going to sit here and tell you that, Mark Murphy's not going to fire LaFleur anytime soon. And I do believe that to be true. However, things can change, and who knows what happens behind closed doors and whether Mark Murphy has, I want a flourish on my way out. Maybe I admit my mistake, so to speak, and hire a new regime coaching-wise, and stranger stuff has happened. So I'm not going to sit here and say, there's no way it happens. I don't think it's going to happen, but a lot of ball game left in that regard.
Amidst the teeth gnashing of this post-loss Tuesday, smell the cleanly cut grass outside the studio. It is Mower Tuesday.
Mower Tuesday out there, guys.
Mower.
That's about the only joy we have on this Tuesday.
Right there. Mower Tuesday. Still happening.
About the only joy we have.
Wear the long cleats, fellas. Wear the long cleats. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the path forward? Have you in your mind created a path forward for this team to get some traction?
Yeah, I got a path forward. Let's get Aaron Jones back on the football field. I mean, what's crazy about this is they're going to get Aaron Jones back, right? They'll probably have a bit of a different offensive approach, not monster difference. I don't think LaFleur's going to change his stripes completely. But Aaron Jones is going to come back, and they're going to look good. They're not going to look great, but they're going to look good on offense because Aaron Jones is really good. He's a superstar that they neglect sometimes, but he's going to look really good, and they're going to look better, and it's going to be like, oh, yeah, great. But the problem is, of course, if you're thinking long-term, it's like, okay, great. Then we're going to get to the offseason. What's going to happen with Aaron Jones' contract? Probably out the door. So then you're back next year with Matt LaFleur and all these young guys. Yes, a year seasoning under their belt, but no Aaron Jones, the one thing that seems to work on this offense. So, yeah, that's the way forward as far as I can tell.
I hate to zoom ahead to the offseason because there's too much football left in this season.
Jeez. Week 5 offseason talk.
Here we go, baby. Hey, I pried the door open. That's my fault. That's my fault. I own that. I own that. That's on me. That's on me.
But what about the offseason?
That's on
Coaches take it 1 week at a time. We in the media and as fans, we play all the games in a row
100%.
in our head and then backwards again, and we look forward to next year. What scares me is they're going to be in the market for 2 running backs next.
It's possible.
April.
Take for Caleb Williams. That's fine. Take right now. But let's do this. If we're doing off-season talk,
dude, you throw that out there, but man, I was all over our live chat last night. It's crazy. Packers fans. I'll tell you what. There's a whole generation of Packers fans that are just soft, man. And I'm not going to get on my, you should have been there in the 70s and 80s soapbox because nobody wants to hear it, and I understand it. But, man, y'all are soft in this new generation. Like, you watch some ugly football, and you're like,
you like to follow in
tank it, like they're terrible. It's all over. It's like, yo, it's a long season, A. B, it's a very insanely, never been done before young team on offense. Yes, it's a first-year starter. There's going to be ugly stretches of football, something I said all summer at Cheesehead TV. So, hey, if you bandwagon people want to jump off, it's great. Go ahead. I'll be here when you get back.
In their defense, guys like Brian and Josh, who are under 40 years old, they're not built for this.
No, they're not.
They're not built for this. They've never experienced it. It should be a shock to the system. It should be slightly terrifying. Because like I said, the only 2 previous times in their lifetime the Packers have been bad, it's been mitigated by, Rodgers
got hurt.
Calm down. Or we're going to fire Bob's big boy. Everything is going to be fine with the new guy, whoever that is.
Yeah, that's just
Bob's Dallas. I've never heard that before. I've heard a million nicknames for Mike, but never Bob's Big Boy. That's incredible.
It's a highly successful Bob's Big Boy to you.
Oh my God.
They took those statues down for most of those restaurants. No, so it was always with the backdrop of everything is still going to be okay. We just got to ride this out. This is the first long look for many Packer fans into the true darkness of the night of what if.
And look, and it doesn't.
And you're going to have to cope with this. You're going to have to lean into the uncertainty.
It's uncertainty. That's the key. There is uncertainty. Like, yes, for 20 years, 30 years, we've been, they're contenders or the hovering around contention, right? And now, the uncertainty is going to kill some people. But, man, look, as Bart Starr said, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, like, it takes no courage to support a team when they're winning all the time. It takes courage as a fan to stand by them when they suck. And he didn't use the word suck because he was Bart Starr and he had class, unlike myself. But, man, I love the Green Bay Packers, and I understand that this is a tough transitional season. It was always going to be. And if you're here like, there were folks after the Detroit loss who were in my mentions, like going through the schedule saying, they just played a tough Detroit team. They play some cupcakes coming up, and, hey, they could still win the division. People are talking a week ago. Now, probably
there were some cupcakes. And let's be honest, this is a game they should have won.
Absolutely should have won. 1,000,000,000% should have won.
They're a 3.5-point dog.
No question should have won.
In Denver.
Yeah. Are you surprised? Don't tell me you're surprised.
I am, absolutely. I've seen that Denver's horrendous.
Am I not surprised? I'm not surprised. I'm embarrassed, but that's okay.
There's the difference.
I'll lean into that and deal with it. Yeah. Exactly. This one from Rich and Fondy. Mower Tuesday. No screaming? No, we're not doing screaming, okay? We're trying to process this loss. We don't have time to jack around today. For God's sakes, we did point out. Eddie and Stallis, I miss Coach Mike. All right.
Interesting.
I'll let him jump off the wagon. I'm 90,000 deep on the season ticket list. Ha ha. I'm still here.
Exactly.
262. I understand the offense struggles. The defense is extremely disappointing and needs an overhaul with all the talent we have.
Yeah, probably. But what Matt's going to do? What, fire Joe Barry for cause when his defense was the one that held the Raiders to 10 points heading into the fourth quarter last night? If your offense does anything resembling anything, You're completely different on the defensive side of the ball. You're able to get after the quarterback. You're able to pin your ears back in a way they can't in any way, shape, or form because there's zero complementary football.
Nagler, my response to the, you're under 40, so you're not built for this comment has been, unless we planned and thought this team's not going to be great this year. This is a okay, let's figure out if this young team can find some success and build on it for next year.
Right.
So that kind of limits expectations. The problem going into last night's game, or coming out of last night's game, I should say, is that it was different from the other losses. The other losses, you could go, okay, well, there were clearly this problem on defense.
Right.
Or Aaron Jones and Bakhtiari are in this game, way different game. There was so much going on wrong in last night's game that is when fear creeped in. And I went, oh, crap, is this going to be the 70s? Like, it's a mess. It's a mess out there.
Hasn't that shown up at times? I mean, you look at a half against Atlanta, nothing was going well. You know, the Saints, nothing was going well.
First half against the Saints.
There's been signs that this was for a full game.
Right.
But like there's been signs that this team has had these issues.
Yeah, no doubt. No question about it. But look, man, what you are on October 10th is not the reflection of your season for all eternity, right? Like, when we look back on the 2023 Green Bay Packers, you're not going to be going, oh, man, remember how they looked on October 10th? You're going to be talking about everything. You're going to be talking about throughout the stretch, November, December, whatever. Like, so I know it's frustrating right now, and I know it feels like, to use Josh's kind of phrase there, the uncertainty, the fact that nothing's working. Man, no one's more frustrated than Matt LaFleur and his coaching staff. I guarantee you that. And they will have to dive in here. They got a bye week to work on it. But, yeah, there's a lot of hard conversations happening inside that building right now. But the thing is, what's the beauty of the game is you got another game you can play. You got lots more games you can play. And I understand the cheap seats will be like, yeah, lots more to watch them suck. And hey, again, if you want to jump off the bandwagon, I'm getting it. I understand it. But we'll be here when you get back.
Uniforms look good.
I mean, that's the important part, really.
Dude, seriously, the uniform game was tight. Both the Niners and Cowboys was classic uniforms. These were two classic uniforms as well. And the fans overtook Allegiant.
How about the gold package out there in Vegas, huh?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
It showed up.
Gold package represent. All right, today, noon to 2, Carry the G Radio. Mr. Nagler, as always, we appreciate your time.
Thanks, boys. Talk to you soon.